Hello, everyone. We'll start the webinar now. Welcome and thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Aarti Chauhan and I manage the software donation program here at NASCOM Foundation. I have Mahendru and Ensure Empowerment team with me. So we'll start with a little bit of housekeeping. All lines are muted, so if you have any technical issues throughout this session, please type it into the chat box, which is on your webinar panel. Also, if you have any questions during the session, please type it into the Q&A box. If you are on Wi-Fi connection and have multiple programs open, this can sometimes affect the quality of the audio and the video of the webinar. If possible, please close all other programs to have help you the best experience. Please note this webinar is being recorded and the link of the recording will be available on the NASCOM Foundation YouTube page. Now, I would like to give an overview about NASCOM Foundation and NGO Empowerment. So, over to you, Mahendru.
Great, thanks a lot, Aarti. Very good morning to everyone, and thanks for joining for today's webinar, where we will be talking about creating an impactful visuals for the social cause, and this will be through Adobe Express. Let me start off with some introduction. So NASCOM Foundation at a glance, who we are, right? So we are being a very good, strong nationwide presence where we create a last mile impact, and we have been in this industry for the last 20 years, where we focus on a lot in terms of digital literacy and tech-based skilling, and we are the only non-profit organization in India where we represent the tech industry. Talking about some of the programs which we have, we focus on innovation spaces, volunteering, diversity and inclusion, and we have across 22 states presence, and we are all having these programs powered by Tech for Good. That's our theme. Moving on. Uh, what is NGO empowerment, right? So we represent NGO empowerment as a team. So what our purpose from NGO empowerment is to strengthen the social ecosystem by leveraging technology. And we look at creating a resilient and self-sustainable NGO sector where they can look at addressing their challenges efficiently, right? So quickly a snapshot of what we offer and what we do under NGO empowerment. The first one is the software donation program, where a lot of nonprofits know that we provide software donations to the nonprofits who are eligible. And these software donations come directly from the donor. And these are something where you get as a subsidized cost, right? Apart from this software donations, we also, do validation services where we check the eligibility of the nonprofits. We do tech beta, which are in-person sessions, and also offer new services, right? The second program which we look at and we run under NGO Empowerment is the My Kartavya. Under My Kartavya, what we primarily focus is looking at corporate, volunteers and employees who can come and look at skill-based and tech-based volunteering. And second, we also look at broader opportunities like a one-time volunteering, where we do some activities like lake cleaning, school paintings, those kind of a one-time volunteering. The third category, what we have is the capacity building programs. What we look at from a capacity building programs is we look at programs where nonprofits can be, looking at enhancing the technology and looking at certain operational efficiency. So we are working on building certain programs like evidence building, Gen AI for the nonprofits. So this is a program where we look at not just the software donation and the volunteering, but looking at a broader programs which can help the nonprofits. With that, what I want to touch a little more about is on the challenges. So I know a lot of NGOs who have joined, they might be at a small grassroots level or maybe a medium NGO or a large NGO, right? So some of the challenges which we see a lot of NGOs say is that, they have, limited budget and resources, right? And they also say that they have difficulty in, engaging and creating content, right? And they also have certain challenges in scaling up the operations, and some also say that they have inadequate storytelling via visuals and all of that stuff, right? So these are the broad challenges which we see. So we also want to look at how do we cater to this, right? So What is Big Tech program all about? So Big Tech is a initiative where we have tied up with TechSoup, and TechSoup is a non-for-profit organization where they have partners across the globe, and for India, we are the partner for them. And this program has been a good, almost 13 plus years program where we launched in 2007, and it's the only platform which is available in India where the non-profits can get genuine softwares at an affordable price, right? So talking about the programs under Big Tech, I think one of the things which I was, talking earlier was a software donation where the eligible NGOs can go ahead and avail these softwares which directly come from the donors, right? Just to, name few of the softwares like Adobe, Quick Heal, AWS, right? And the validation services, typically we check the eligibility of the non-profits, and these softwares are directly fulfilled by the donor from their websites, right? And the third program which we run is the NGO Source. NGO Source is something where we do equivalency determinations as a checks, where the team goes ahead and checks the eligibility criteria. And once the eligibility criteria checks are done, the US grant making process can be done through these EDs. So that's what we look at from the NGO Source program. Moving on, uh, a little bit about the My Kartavya program. I just touched on it earlier. But what is My Kartavya, right? It's basically my duty. That's the reason why we call this as a volunteering opportunity, right? So how do we give back to the society? So what we have currently is like, we look at engaging employees who can be volunteers, and a lot of corporate volunteers come and say that, hey, I want to do something and contribute back. So there are two opportunities which we look at broadly. One is a skill-based volunteering, right, where we look at helping the nonprofits. And some of the areas and topics which we help the nonprofits are like, website revamping. So let's say a volunteer comes and say that I have a, skill set where I can help the nonprofits to look at revamping the website. So we tie that volunteer to the nonprofits to look at how they can do this activity, right? Also, to name some of them like IT audits or improving the digital presence. So these are some of the opportunities where the volunteers come and help the nonprofits. The second program is the virtual one. So we work a lot with the students here, where basically we have industry experts who come from various corporates, and they help the students in terms of employability readiness, looking at career counseling, looking at interview preparedness, and also resume building. So these are some of the things which the corporates and industry experts can come and help the students out, right? So these are the two opportunities which we work under the microcurriculum. Moving on, just to name a few top donors, I think I just touched on it earlier. So I think Adobe, we have Quick Heal, we have Zoom, so AWS. So these are some of our top donors where a lot of nonprofits go ahead and avail these softwares from the Big Tech program. Moving on, what is that which we have been doing as an impact, right, for the nonprofits? So just to quote a few numbers here, we have almost 1.69 billion worth rupees of softwares which we have donated to the nonprofits. And because the nonprofits have come to the Big Tech program, they saved almost 1.58 billion worth of money. Had it been they have gone to the market price, we could have spent much higher, but because they got a subsidized cost, we have saved almost 1.5 billion worth of money, right? We have almost 13,500 plus nonprofits who are registered on the Big Tech, and 2.7 million lives which we have impacted across India through these software donations. And talking about the volunteers which we spoke about, the microtavia, we have almost 30 plus corporates who got engaged with us, and the volunteers who actually participated in the programs are almost 36,000 plus. So this is a quick stats on the numbers which we have. And at the bottom, what we are also talking about is, like I mentioned, nonprofits can be at a different stage, like a small to medium to large. We cater to all the software requirements. So let's say somebody wants an infrastructure related software, somebody wants a marketing and communication software, somebody wants a donor management, somebody wants an operations, right? So the nonprofits can come and pick and choose where and what the requirements is, and how they want to cater to the ongoing requirements, right? So that's a quick snapshot of all the verticals which we support. Moving on a little further of what we have done as an impact. We also wanted to hear from the nonprofits of what is that which we have been doing and how it's impacting them, right? So we have conducted two studies. The first study is basically the capacity building study for the nonprofits, where we have conducted a survey for the nonprofits, and it's very good that we got almost 478 responses as a participations where nonprofits have participated in the survey. Some of the outcomes which came, which was clearly defined, was some of the top technology priorities for the nonprofits are improving the digital capabilities of their staff and volunteers. That is the one which stood out as a number one requirement. Second, they said that improving their website, and third, they said they want to use better utilization of the social media and digital marketing, right? And in the right hand side, you also see some stats. I'll not go through the details of it, but I think WhatsApp has been the number one channel a lot of people use, and that's what is clearly, coming out of it. And some of things which also say that, 33% of the organization use crowdfunding or e-commerce facility on their website. The second study, what we have done is basically we have conducted virtual interviews. We have selected a random 60 nonprofits based on certain segmentation in terms of the size, in terms of employees, and all of that stuff. And we wanted to understand how Big Tech program is working out and how it's impacting. And some of the numbers which you see here, what we see is that 98% of the nonprofits reported that they have improved operations and management because they came into the Big Tech and they utilize the softwares. And 97% of them reported decreased cost and expenses. So these are some of the numbers and stats, but it's always encouraging that we go back to the nonprofits, understand how the program is and where we want to also work towards the next steps. Moving on. So these are some of the softwares which is available for Adobe. And I'm happy and glad to welcome our today's speaker, who's going to be Jasmeet Kaur. She is an education analyst and at Adobe for Education India team. She leads the K-12 curriculum and she has been a professional development activities and she's a thought leader for the Adobe Express and she has built a community for Adobe creative educators in India. With that, thank you for joining today's session, Jasmeet, and over to you.
Thanks a lot, Mahendra. Thank you so much. And thanks for introducing me. I'm very happy and glad to be a part of the session today and to help you all understand what Adobe Express is and how powerful it is as a tool and how you can leverage that tool and sort of build your brand or speak to your audience and speak to people around you. So thanks a lot. Aarti, can I now start sharing my screen?
Yes, please. I'll stop sharing.
Thank you. So, all right. So here we are, everyone. And we're going to learn in the next, I would say, about 40 to 45 minutes about the power of visual storytelling with the help of Adobe Express. I have been briefed about the kind of brands that are coming in and the kind of audience that I have for today. So I also have like a power pack agenda, and I'm going to set the context right for all of you right in the beginning so that you know what you can expect in the next 30 to 45 minutes from my end. First, of course, I'm going to brief you about what Adobe Express is, how Adobe as a tool has been empowering millions and millions of creators across the world, and how they have been using and leveraging Express to express their ideas, to show the story of their brands, to show what it is like to be in this particular digital age. And that's what we are going to discover. And then I'm also going to want you all to sort of do a couple of hands-on activities with me so that we can all work together and you can also get like first-hand experience of using Adobe Express along with me. So yeah, I'll just guide you through all the steps while presenting. And we'll now jump on to the second slide, which sort of talks about what is Express and what can we do with Adobe Express. So as I said, Adobe Express is an application that helps you create like high quality content at speed and scale, helps you create content with a million and million of, I would say, stock images, stock videos, templates that we have created for all of you. It helps you create that standout content that will speak for your brand. It helps you to stay connected to your brand, so you can like design libraries for your brand, etc., and helps you also to work better together. So as a team, if you're wanting to like collaborate, you're wanting to like work on similar topics, similar presentations, etc., Adobe Express is the right thing for you. Moving on, of course, it's one in all editor. You could create like videos at the same place. You could create photos, you could create graphics, infographics, newsletters, and all of this can be just done in few quick, simple steps. There are, of course, options for you to like very easily drag and drop and create that beautiful content that you would want to create. Of course, with that comes in also animating stuff that you're creating. So you could do that as well with the editor. And that, as I said already, can be done at this one-stop shop, which is Adobe Express. Helps you to do real-time collaboration, which means that two users could work jointly on a project and share comments inside the file. They could share their thoughts. They could edit and make changes to that thought. As you can see in this picture already, you can see that there are 4 people on this particular, just one poster itself. So you would be able to like create and build things together as a team, not just work individually or standalone on a project. Then, as I already mentioned, you have a lot of templates and assets from stock contributors. So we are going to talk and deep dive into Adobe Stock and how you could access these templates, these stock images and videos that you could use readily for your brand. And yeah, that's what we're going to talk about in the session, during the session. You can create very impactful videos. So you could combine text, images, graphics, etc., all in one, and use the mixed media editor to create these impactful videos that you would want to create for your brand. And you could create those stories with the help of now animations as a feature that is now available. And that's something, again, as I said, we will do with the quick hands-on activity later during the session. Now, coming to the generative AI. Now, I know that generative AI is a buzzword and all of us has been using, and maybe certain one or the other products of Gen AI that offers generative AI as a feature. And in this era where the creativity and productivity are more interconnected and complementary than ever before, Gen AI is the answer to us creating these visually impactful stories. Express is now integrated with Gen AI powered technology, which has options for you to create text from images, create textual effects for your beautiful creations. You could insert an object or remove objects from your creations. You can also use generate template as a feature, which helps you create any templates that you're looking out for, but you don't seem to find in Express. So you could just type in a keyword and say that, hey, this is the kind of template that I want to create for my brand, and it'll come up with the template. So you would be, and we are going to do like an introductory activity on Gen AI. So yeah, I'm not going to kill the buzz right now, and I'm going to wait for us to deep dive into that activity so that you can experience Gen AI firsthand. Moving on, you have a lot of PDF support on Adobe Express. So you could import your PDFs, you could edit your PDFs, you can enhance your PDFs and make them more visual and impactful by using Express and by using the options that are available inside Express for PDFs. So that's another thing that we're going to explore together as a team today. And then, of course, scheduling. So all of us are creating all of this content to be shared across social media channels, right? And scheduling is one simple way that helps us to schedule Express content for a month. And we could like connect our apps. We could connect Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, you name it, and you could connect those apps to your Express, and you could like schedule these posts already. And let's say if you're doing posts, let's say weekly or bi-weekly, you could like schedule them already at the beginning of the month, and then you don't have to worry about, oh, did I post my creation for this week or not? So that's what it is, and that's how powerful this is. And as I said, we're going to explore all these possibilities later during the session. And the final thing, it is connected to all your Adobe apps. So if you do work on other apps as well, you could like import files or directly edit in Adobe Express from there as well. So this is everything that we are going to explore today. And with that, I'm going to move to actually Adobe Express home screen and show you how you can log into your home screens today and work together with me and understand what Adobe Express is and how you could use it for your brands as well. So I'm going to stop sharing and share my screen once again with Adobe Express logged in. What I would request the users to do is, I think you had been given a certain link to sign into Adobe Express, but I'm quickly going to paste that once again in the chat box. So there's a link that is in the chat box that says new.express.adobe.com. Now, using this link, you are going to be able to sign into your Adobe Express accounts, and you can use your personal email IDs to sign into the accounts as well. So nothing stops us from using our personal email IDs. Please do that. And so once you're actually just typing in new.express.adobe.com, I'll show you the kind of screen that you will see. It will be basically like a sign-in screen where you have to sign up for the first time. And then you will see a screen like this, which will be your home screen for today. So I am going to pause for about, let's say, 30 seconds to 1 minute. I hope all of you have access to your devices and you're able to sign into Express. And this is the kind of screen that we are aiming for today once you are signed in on Adobe Express. As I said, I'm going to wait for a couple of more seconds so that you all can try Adobe Express. If you're using your mobile phones, you could download the app as well. And then you can sign in or sign up for the first time. If you're using it, you could sign up on Express and you could get the access to your app.
Yeah, I guess
Somebody
participants are
has a
signing
question,
in.
yeah.
People are signing in.
Perfect. All right. So I think we could get started now. And we're going to start with, as I said, I'm very excited to explore the generative AI feature with all of you. And I know that you have the access to the chat box. So what I would request all of you to do is maybe type in answers as and when I ask questions to all of you. And we could then create or generate something using Adobe Express Generative AI text to image feature. All right. So the first thing that we're going to explore today is the Gen AI feature. And for that, I'm going to click on the second button that you see. Now, this is the home screen. And as you can see, it's pretty intuitive, pretty simple and clear and to the point, where you can see on the left-hand dashboard, you see all these options. You have your options for your branding. You can start creating content direct from here, which allows you to like pull up a file and start creating on that. You could generate with AI, you could explore quick actions and browse for templates. You also have other options where you can go in and search for social media kind of content, videos if you want to create like templates for that, images related to, options related to photos, documents, marketing, Gen AI, etc. So Gen AI is what we're going to begin with. And as you all can see, I have about 4 features of Gen AI. Number 1, generate image. Number 2, insert an object. 2, maybe insert an object in one of your images. Number 3, generate template. And number 4, generate text effects. We are going to explore just the first one today, which is generate image. Now, I'm sure a lot of you, I'm going to take you back in time, like when you were kids. And I'm sure all of you might have certain cartoons that were your favorite, right? And we used to usually see that these cartoons are all like animals who were dressed up like human beings, right? I remember there's this one cartoon that I used to watch back as a kid, and I'm sure all of us have watched, which was like Tom and Jerry. And they used to like have different attire all the time, like sometimes a hat or a cap. Sometimes Tom used to dress up in like a
Sorry,
black suit.
Jasmeet.
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry, just to cutting you. Can
yeah.
you be a bit slower?
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. Do you want me to like pause for people to log in?
No, no, no,
Or
no.
can we?
Just
Okay,
talk little slower. That's it.
sure. I'll do that. I'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, guys. I am usually in a teacher setup and I'm in that mode, which is why this comes out very naturally. But thanks a lot, Aarti. I'll try to be a little more slower. Okay. So we were talking about our favorite cartoons as kids. Now, these cartoons were all dressed up like these animals were dressed up in like human clothes. We're going to imagine something very similar today. And what I'm going to ask you is think of your favorite animal. It could be anything, or think of an animal that is very uncommon. Okay. And once you have that, I would request you to then think of what is that animal wearing if that animal is dressed up like human beings. I'll give you an example. For example, let's say a cat wearing a black colored suit. And I'm going to write that over here so that you could like see and you could see how that comes out when I sort of create it. So you could all type in your individual animals, but I'm going to type in what I want to and what I want to present all of you. Okay. A cat wearing a black suit with a red bow tie. So that's my initial cat looks like. I could also say a gray cat. Let me just type that. And now I'm going to imagine that at this point, like at this hour of the day, which is like what, noon, almost noon, I'm going to imagine that my cat is drinking or eating something. So I'm going to write that food item and that drink item as well. So I'm going to say a cat wearing a black suit with a red bow tie, eating sandwich and drinking coffee. And now I'm going to imagine the setting or the place where my cat is. So let's say the cat is sitting in a cafe. Okay. So I'm going to say that sitting in a cafe with books in the background. So with a bookshelf, probably bookshelf in the background. So that's all. I'm going to just stop it at this because if I can be as descriptive as I want to be, but I'm going to stop here and I'm going to make sure that this is a very simple short description that helps us to create an image that is exactly like a gray cat wearing a black suit with a red bow tie, eating a sandwich and drinking coffee, sitting in a cafe with a bookshelf in the background. Now, once I have this prompt and I have this detailed text description, I'm going to click on the generate button. And now the magic is going to happen, guys. So I want all of you also to try this out and see how the generative AI is so powerful that it sort of brings our vision to life, brings our ideas, brings our textual descriptions to life. So as you can see, my image has been created. And I'm sure as amused I am to look at this cute little gray cat, you are also just the same. And it has not only just created one image for me, but it has created multiple images for me. So think of the ways of how you could use generative AI text to image as a feature to create these images, impactful images for your brand. You could also have said a group of students sitting on the floor, attending a classroom in a forest or in a jungle or in a park. So things like those, you could like be as creative, as imaginative as possible, and you would see your imagination come to life. And that's, as I said, the power of Gen AI. You could click on generate more and you could generate more photos of it if you want to, if you're not satisfied with the first set of images. Also, another thing that you could do is you could select your content type. So if you want it to be looking like a realistic picture, you could click on photo. If you want it to look like a graphic or an art, you could click on that. So this is how your content sort of changes as and when you click on any of these options. And hear me out one more thing. If you think that whatever has been created is not up to the mark, you want to change it, you can always come back to your prompt and retype whatever you're wanting to retype, and you can generate another picture for it. Now, the fun part. I could download this image and I could use it in my presentations, in my graphics, in my posters, whatever I'm creating for my brand. And that is pretty simple because I have to just click on this download button on the top right corner and I can select I want to download as a PNG or a JPG or a PDF or a PDF print. And JPG usually is like a small file size, so you could download it very easily. Takes a couple of seconds, but get downloaded seamlessly. Now, that's the first thing. Number two, if you're wanting to share this with somebody else, or you would want this other person to maybe sort of work on this file, or you want to create link for this creation that you have done, you could also do that. And I'm going to show you that in one of the other examples that I'm going to pick up. But for now, if you have created something and if you have created a Gen AI image, I would love for you to share it with all of us in the chat box so that we can see each other's images as well. And yeah, with that, I think I will move on to the next part where I would possibly show you examples of different kind of templates that are available on Express. And for that, I'm going to click on this home page, Adobe Express icon, so that I can land on the home page back again. So here we are on the home page once again. And now we are wanting to do another thing, which is basically create templates. So again, just coming back and just bringing everybody back from the Gen AI feature that we just explored. Now that was just one feature that we explored for Gen AI, but as I said, you could apply text effects, you could insert an image and then say that I want to insert this object in this picture. You can create a template. This is something that we'll explore definitely. And you have an option to generate text effects. So whatever text you are writing, in case you want to come up with an idea of writing an effect or having an effect on that text, you could use this feature as well. As you can see, there's all these features that are mentioned over the top as I'm hovering over. You can see these are the text features that have been applied. For example, this one is a soft pink peony petals. This one is blue cushions. This one is a liquid mercury. So like this, you could also create text effects on your individual text. All right. So moving ahead, something that I thought would be relevant and that you usually brands use a lot is basically creating different kind of social media material. It could be like Instagram stories, or it could be like posts, or it could be reels. And as you can see on Express, seamlessly, you can see that on social media, when I click, I have options of one, popular things that I could create. Two, I could go to a specific sort of social media place as well. So Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, etc. These are all the things that are available, which means that when you click on one of these options, it will take you to a templates and also to the sizing, because sizing is very, very important. When you're creating a graphic, you have to stick to the pixels that a particular post want or a particular story wants. For example, Instagram square post is usually 1080 into 1080 pixels. A story is usually 1080 into 1920 pixels. So you get this ready-made over here. And then when you click on one of these options and you say browse templates, you will be seeing that you have a lot of results, thousands of results of templates that you start seeing on the left-hand side. Now, these are all the templates that have generically come up, and these are maybe these also might be some of the popular templates. But what if I want to create a certain creation that is limited to my own brand, that is limited to, let's say, an event that is coming up, that is limited to maybe a showcase that I'm doing? So what and how I can go about that, that's what I'm going to teach you next. So now in this area, I can search for what is the kind of content that I'm looking for. Let's say there's an event or an annual showcase that is coming up for my brand. And we are doing this event in, let's say, December. And I want to create a post to make my audience aware of this is the kind of event that we're having. And these are all the things that we'll be doing. Or you could do like save the date kind of a poster. That's what we're going to create right now. So let's say if I just type in save the date card, you'll see a lot of save the date cards have come up on the left hand side. And now if I want whatever these templates that have come up, whatever template I like the best, I could just pick that and I could customize it according to my own choices. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick any of these one simple templates. Let's say this one. This is like pretty straightforward, impactful, and I have the options to maybe apply anything and everything and be as creative as possible in this creative. So I'm going to show you a couple of options that you could do. Number one, I do not like the background color, so I'm going to change it from here at the top, which is background color. So I could choose any color from here, or I could go to custom colors and I could choose from this various colors options available. Let's say my brand is like it falls somewhere in this sort of league, and this is the kind of color that I want to pitch in. So I'm going to just stick to this lighter purplish lavenderish color. All right. That's number one. Number two, There's certain text that I need to edit because for my event, there are not 3 days to go, but let's say 30 days to go. So I'm going to change this as well. But for that, as you can see, it allows me only to edit text if I'm like ungrouping this entire thing. So I could do that as well. Right now, 2, 3 elements are pitched in together. So I can simply ungroup. You will see now there are 1 element and 2 element. And what I could do is I could simply click on this and I could start editing. So I'm going to say how many days to go? Let's say 30 days to go. And I can increase or decrease the size from the left hand side. So as soon as you select a text on the left hand side, automatically the text bar open up where you can see everything related to what you can do for a text. So you can change the text font, you can change the text color, you can change the text size, etc., etc. So let's say I stick to this one and I'm changing the size for it. So it's 340 right now. I'm going to make it 250 maybe. And what I'm also going to do is maybe make it here, which is like in the middle. And then I'm going to pick up this as well and maybe just make it a little bit on this side. And that's about it. Also, I don't think this color is now very well going with my background color. So I'm going to change the color for my text as well. How do I do that? On the left hand side, I have a fill option very easily. I could choose any of the colors and I could see which color is going the best now with my brand, this thing, the creative that I'm creating. So I think this one goes well, but I again would want to have the same color for this. An option that you could try out is the outline. So fill color, there's nothing filled inside this, which is why the fill color is left no fill, right? There's a no fill applied to it. But in this side where you see the outline, that's where I also want to apply the same color that I applied to this particular side, which was the lavender color. So I can pick up this particular brush dropper at the top and I can say that I want this color on the 30 as well. So you could see with just one simple pick, this dropper, it got changed. If I put it like as white, then it changes to white. So similarly, I could try out the dropper feature and I could paste and do the same color. Now I have this background, which is again a fill color black. I don't want that because it seems too like, I would say it is just making the entire thing dull. So I'm going to pick up another color for it as well, or I'm going to completely let it go as well. So whatever you decide, if you think this is not making much sense, you can actually just click on the delete button and delete that element altogether at once. Now, I want to make this more meaningful and impactful. So as you can already see, this launch date that is mentioned, I can edit that date. There is, again, a website that is mentioned that I can edit. But I want to bring like a nice background color, sorry, nice border to this. And how do I do that? On the left hand side, there are so many options for you available. Either you could go to media and search for different kind of borders here, or the best place to go is to elements and search all mein jaake. You can just type borders and you will see a lot of design assets related to borders. Now you click on the view all button, whichever border you like the best. If you think there's a square border that you like, you appreciate, and you would want to stick to that, you can just simply click on that and you will have it on your particular creation that you're creating. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pick up anything, something that is really simple, but also sort of like creates that impact and is like maybe highlighting the fact that there are 30 days to go. So I'm going to pick something like that. And with that, I'm going to just maybe stick to one of these first initial things that I saw, maybe this one. So I'm going to put this border across and extend it like this. And that's my border for this particular piece. What I could also do is I could reduce the opacity of border or increase the opacity depending on how dark or light I want my border to be. Plus, when I click on the border, so if I click on this border, you will see on the left hand side, there are other options available for me, which says you could blend it accordingly. I could apply like a different effect. So there's another color that I could apply to my border that sort of matches my entire creative. So that's what you could do from here. So again, one more thing that is added to this is borders. Now I would want to add an image also. It could be any image. So I'm going to go to media and I'm going to want to either upload an image that I have from my device, or I could search from these images. Let's say 30 Days to Go is like an event for an annual showcase, and I want the a bunch of kids pictured in this. So how could I do that? I'm just going to say a group of kids and press enter. Now, this is where the stock images come in. You can see that I have thousands of stock images that I can choose from and that you're free to use. And I think I absolutely love the first one that I see over here because it's such a nice, cute painting. So I'm going to like stick to this one. Or there's another option. If you think that you do not like any of this, you could generate the image like we generated for the GenAI here as well. So that's something you all can do or try as well. So this is how I can bring in an image. Another thing that I could do is I'm just going to delete this for now. I'm going to show you one very exciting feature. Let's say a bunch of kids that I want to bring in is maybe this one. I saw something at the top. All right, this one, yeah. So maybe this is the bunch of kids that I want to bring in. And now you can see the background of this picture does not blend with what I have in the background, right? So there's an amazing option on the left-hand side. As you can see, I could remove backgrounds from my picture. I could erase a certain thing from my creative. I could remove an object or insert. These are all again generative AI features for you to use. And when I click on remove background, you will see the magic happen that the background gets automatically removed and I'm left with just my kids inside the picture. And that's what I was talking about. So you saw within a couple of seconds, I was able to create this. And now what I'm going to do is actually I'm very motivated now to put all of this content that I have inside over here. So what I'm going to do is on this side, you can also see the layers. You can see that we have this particular kids, we have the background. I'm going to actually pick up all of these elements and make it a little more like right at the top so that I have space to adjust for these kids that are coming, right? So I'm going to just select my content, make sure that all of this goes a bit up so that I have ample amount of space for this beautiful picture of these kids. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make them a bit on the upper side of the creative and see them as an option over here. Or I could just stick them here as well. So you could see it sort of highlights and create that impact for you. If you want, you could also like increase the size of your creative. If you are like very minute to the details and you want to like, you're somebody who likes to like go detailed, you could also like increase or decrease the size from this side. And that's how I created this one simple creative of one of my events that's going to happen. And I have added a picture to it. I have added some elements to beautify it. And I have added options and enabled my users to see this text that I have created out of this expression that we picked up, all these elements that we picked up from the left-hand side. So even text, if you go to text and if you think that there are certain text sort of things that you would like to pick up, for example, in social, you can see these are all pre-created templates for texts as well. So you could use these as well. If you want to, like, let's say, do a bio for somebody, you could introduce them with one of these texts as well. If you are, let's say, somebody who's going to like do a headline for like a newsletter kind of a thing, you could pick one of these textual options as well. So these are also built in. So you could either create from scratch, from your own imagination, or you could pick from one of these options too. So that's how you create like a simple graphic on Adobe Express. And that's where all of this creativity that you see on the left-hand side comes in, and you can like enhance your graphic and create that image. I'm going to pause here for a second. And Aarti, are there any questions that we have that I should be addressing sideways?
I think we can take the questions later. We can
Sure.
go.
Let's do that. Yeah. So now one important thing, as I was mentioning, previously that there is an option for us to collaborate. Let's say we don't have that kind of time to create this graphic and beautify it. We have just 5 minutes to quickly like finish this up and share it with our audience. What we could also do this is we could click on the share button and I could write in a name of a person that I want to share this file with so that two of us can work together on this. So for example, I'm just going to type in my other email ID possibly, or maybe just type in any email ID with whom I want to share this. And what happens is that when you click on that email ID with whom you want to share this creative and work together, you can give them an option to edit or comment. So possibly if you're sending this to somebody who's like a reviewer of this final post, you can give them a comment, right? If you're editing this with somebody, you can give them an edit, right? And then send invite to edit. Once you do that, the invitation is sent to that person. They will receive a notification in their email and on their Adobe Express account both, and they will be able to see that you have invited them to edit and work on the file together. So that's how you could share this file with somebody. Also, if you would want people to look at this file and you would want to create a link for it, you can also click on here and say anyone with the link, and you can say can comment or can edit if there's a file like that. So you could also copy this link and share that with people. But and this is something that you could do internally. But if you're wanting to share this graphic now, finally it's ready, and you want to share this graphic with your wider audience, and you want to share it as a link, how could you do that? You could click on make a template option. It allows you to create a template for this creation. And then what you could do is you could name this file. So I would just say event save the date. And then I'm going to choose create a public template link and finally click on create template link. It allows you to create a unique link for your template that you can share with anybody across your network. And that person, even if that person uses Adobe Express, does not use Adobe Express, can just click on the link and open and see what that invite or what that link is about that you're sharing with them. So this is a generic way of sharing these creations with your users, with your audiences, with the people you are going to interact with for this specific event. And then when you copy this link and you, let's say, I'm going to paste it here just to show you how it looks like to other people. So you will see once this link is shared with anybody else, it sort of opens up in this window where it says page one-on-one made with Express, and it shows the event name, event save the date by this person. And this is your graphic that you could share with anybody. So that's how you could create such impactful graphics or creations that you're wanting to share with anybody and everybody across your network. And I'm going to click on the cross button now, and I'm going to take a pause here and show you a couple of more templates that you could try and that you could use in your business site. So I'm going to go to the home page and I'm going to show you a couple of things in the search everything bar. Number one, let's say if I type in newsletter over here and I say I want to search for newsletter templates, I could just simply click the enter button and I could go to the templates option where you see 28,000 plus results for a newsletter. How I designed the previous creative. Similarly, you could pick up any newsletter that you want to redesign or you want to work on or you think is representation of your brand. And this is where you would want to add your information about your newsletter of, let's say, a particular month or a week. And then you click on that newsletter and all you have to do is you have to click on customize template. And the newsletter opens up in this kind of a format. I already told you that you could click on this option and increase the size in case you're somebody who's wanting to see the nitty-gritties of everything, or you would want to see like the content in a very compact manner and also zoomed out and zoomed in manner. So you could do this. Anything that you want to edit is editable here because you can customize this according to your likings, your choice, and as I said, choice of colors, choice of font, choice of anything that you would want to. And you could add in your logos, you could add in any other information that you want to in here. That was the first option. Going back again, let's say I want to create something else. Let's say I want to create a brochure. And in this brochure, what I want to also do is I want to include more information about the kind of things or activities that we are coming up. Again, brochure, we go to templates. You get ready-made templates of all kind of brochures here. You can pick up any brochure that you want to, anything that resonates with you, you pick it up, and then you can start customizing. You can customize it, you can finalize the final thing, and you could also get then printouts of this brochure because it's already in a format where you could share this as with your target audiences. So that's another thing. Let's try one more thing. Can you also sort of maybe name a couple of things that you usually create on digital mediums so that I could also help you maybe create that kind of content? So if there are any options or any suggestions that you have, like can you maybe try these kind of features, I'll also try and present those to you. Going back again, I also want to point out one very, very important thing, that every time that you're creating anything on Adobe Express, it gets saved automatically on your particular account. So you do not have to press the save button over and over again. Everything that you're creating is, because it is cloud-based and because you need a good internet connection to work on Express, so you will see everything that you're creating gets saved automatically. And where do you see those files? On your stuff. So when you're on the home page, the second option that you see is your stuff. And that's where you will see all the creations that you have done till date. So from the beginning of time up until now, you will see all these creations. And in here, you can also filter by yours, shared with you, or recent files. In here, you could also filter them by type as well. You could also start creating a file from scratch over here as well. So these are all the things that you could do in here in your stuff. And now coming to one of the more important aspects, which I spoke about initially, which was schedule button. Now in the schedule button, you can see that this is the look or feel of your personal calendar for scheduling any posts, right? And if you click on the week view, you will see like a week view for it. But if you click on a month view, you can see like a month view of it as well. When you click on this filter button, you can filter according to the post type that you have drafted or you have scheduled, something that is published, something that failed, etc. And you could add or manage your accounts as well. So when you click on the new button, you can actually start creating a new post right from here, or you could create like a new draft post as well. So for example, let's say, also you can see very intuitively what they have done is also sort of given in options of the kind of post that you can create. So you could create like a flash sale post, progress update post, top 5 tips, how it started, product service launch, etc. Now let's say I want to schedule something for tomorrow, and I want to come here and click on the plus button, and I will say I want to start a new post or a new draft post. I'm going to go with new draft post. Then I can also click on this button directly and say start connecting. So I could connect my account to Facebook, social media, like any of these devices, any of these options or communities that I am a part of. And then in here, I could add in a caption and generate a caption for it. In here, I could drag and drop the content. So I just created that file with all of you. So I'm going to just add that. Let's just select this one. And I'm going to select this file and say upload. You will all see that once it gets uploaded, there's an option for you to schedule it or publish it right away. And you could add as a draft as well. So very simple, very intuitive. You will be able to just click, and with one simple click, you can create these posts as well for your community, for your social medias, and that post can go out. And as I said, you could manage this calendar all by yourself or with your teammates and sort of have access to the weekly or monthly calendar. And now I'm going to just show you one last thing that will help you learn a lot of different things that you could do on Express. In the learn option, You will see if you're just getting started, you have a lot of options to explore from, for example, how to speed or slow up your video, how to create a video, export a video, etc. If you go to expert advice, you will see a couple of other articles of how you can level up your videos, how you can use different colors, how you can plan, calendar, schedule, etc. And all these other options for you to learn from. So if you're a new user, if you're somebody who has not used Express at all, and you're wanting to learn more, you can always come to all of these ideas and learn from here as well. And with that, I think I'm going to take a pause and see if there are more questions or any any suggestions from you all that you want to see. Aarti, is there anything in the
Yes,
chat
there are a
box?
few
Yeah.
questions. Yeah. The main is how it is different from Canva.
All right. So a lot of my users ask me this, and of course, I'm not somebody to say that because I work at Adobe. So I'd be saying that Adobe Express is the best. But what I tell my users is that Adobe as an organization has existed for a lot of years now, and Adobe is known for its product. It's known for the kind of software it sort of creates. And now, with the advent of everything turning digitally, Adobe Express is a tool that has been brought for the users like you and I, who would still want to create content, who would still want to have, but we are not experts and we are not somebody who would use like I would say professional tools for creating content. So that's where Adobe Express comes in, and that's the ease of access that you have in Adobe Express. Plus, on Adobe Express, the Firefly features, the generative AI features are at par with any other technology, and you can explore them yourself and you can work on them, and then you will see the difference yourself. And trust me, users have come back to me and said that they found those differences after a month or 4 weeks or 5 weeks or 6 weeks of using Express. So yeah, that's about it. And that's where I would just pause and say that you can use the product and then you will see how different it is from other products that are available.
Is there any size limitation for designs, for creating the designs?
No, there isn't. So as of now, what you guys have done is you've signed up and you've got like this free day, 15-day trial, I think. But once you are registered and you have like a premium account, you get about 100 GB of storage where you can create unlimited content and you can keep creating videos, posters, whatever graphics you want to create. And yeah, you could keep creating content forever.
There is one more question. They want to set up a backdrop in a large exhibition stall and with branding and project details with technical details as well. So
Yeah.
how to get that from their existing collateral or the website?
Sure. So, what you would want to do is when you're creating a new thing and you know that this is what I'm creating it for. For example, you said you're creating it for a large background. You could always go to custom sizing. You can ask or check with the designer or the people who would be printing your material, or I'm sure that you would have a certain set of people who are taking care of that branding material. You could ask them the width of how the width and height of that particular branding is going to be. And then you could create like a custom size file for it so that when you sort of get it printed, it comes in a high definition quality and it does not sort of like the pixels don't run out. So that's what you could do. All you have to do is you can click on the plus button, you could go to custom size and you could type in the size. So you could say this many pixels, these many inches, centimeters, millimeters, etc. And that's where you could do this from.
Okay, I'm going to take few live questions now.
Sure.
Swati Jain. Yeah. Yes, you can unmute and ask the question. Swati, unable. I just can you check now?
think some issue, Aarti. So if
Yeah,
we have
I
any
think
other
I'm
live
unmute
question.
now. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, she
Okay.
can. Yeah.
Yes, now
Uh,
go ahead.
Thank you, Jasmeet, for the wonderful session. So I just have a quick question. जो आपने दिखाया था AI generated images.
Yeah.
So if we create a AI generated image और मैं उसी image को मैं use करना चाहती हूँ different अपनी backgrounds के लिए. Suppose
Mhm,
मैंने वो cat ही मैंने generate की है brown
mhm,
color की. अब मैं चाहती हूँ कि different environment हो लेकिन मेरी जो cat है वो same रहे.
mhm,
Because now it is a symbol of my workshop. तो हर
mhm.
इमेज में मुझे सेम चाहिए. कैन वी क्रिएट ए अवतार विच विद डिफरेंट इमोशंस बट सेम अवतार?
You'll have to be you'll have to type in the same description. What I've done with users is they have tried to type in the same description of that cat and then sort of generate like similar backgrounds or similar avatars, and that works well. But this is something jo aapko apne end pe try karna hoga with the same text description. That's how it could work.
ओके.
Yeah.
देयर इज नथिंग कि वी कैन सेव दैट और
So
बैकग्राउंड.
that whatever you have created, of course, that gets saved in your device forever. वो cat तो रहेगा और उसका description भी saved रहेगा जब आपने वो बनाया है. तो वही description आप कभी और भी मान लीजिए अब आप एक महीने बाद कोई और workshop कर रहे हैं और आप same theme रखना चाहते हैं. What you could do is you could copy the same description and at least the cat's description, and you could type that in and you will get some similar content only.
ओके. थैंक यू.
Yeah.
थैंक यू सो मच.
There's one more question. I think I can take this one also. Um, yeah, Dr. Pratap. Yeah, please
Hi,
unmute.
yes, please. Thank you. Wonderful session. Just for clarity, most of us are social enterprises and we're mostly looking at social impact. What I saw was predominantly, I think, basic features of creativity and things. So from an impact point of view, let's say if there are some works that we have done with volunteers or some impact. So I run Pothole Raja, which is into road safety and fixing
Mhm.
potholes. So if let's say I have to use some of the pictures from our actual volunteering and then create unique flyers or presentations around it. So how do we extract it from, let's say, from my website or some picture pool or maybe my albums of photo? Can that be a source of the creation?
Yes, absolutely. So how I did in my so how I created that simple collateral, let's say if that was a presentation or if I was creating that presentation for whatever users, what I could simply do is anytime you create anything, let's say I'm just going to go to a presentation format only just for you to see how that sort of look like. Just give me a moment. So yeah, let's say I'm in this presentation format and I'm creating a presentation. I've picked up a template, etc. All you have to do is, sir, that you click on the upload button and you upload from your device. So anytime you have any such images stored in your device, any external things that you want to bring into your presentations or to your creatives that you're creating, you could go to media and upload those images or those videos from your device, and they could like get uploaded seamlessly. There will be like as I said, even if you have created on Express or even if otherwise, they can get seamlessly uploaded, and you could then adjust or create presentations accordingly. So very simple intuitive options that you see on the left hand side, these are the ones that you could try out to create those presentations that you're talking about. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, broadly, I think, I mean, this is a feature broadly like a PowerPoint or Canva or any of the other applications. But my focus was more from a social impact point of view. Are there any specific tools that we can leverage beyond the normal tools that are already there in the existing tools? That's my thought process, I understand.
So basically, you could get ideas on what to do. So, for example, if you wanted to create something for social impact, you could search in the templates option for similar things. So, for example, if I just type in over here social impact and I press enter, I will try and find out templates that are related to that, or any material that has been created related to that, and then I could sort of find or pitch in that this is the kind of work that I do. Maybe this is the kind of graphic that I could do which will be more impactful. For example, very simple, like if somebody is into environmental sustainability, they could see that this is one graphic that is sort of standing out amongst all these things, and that's where templates sort of come in. So they could be like a poster template, presentation template, any other template, or any other like format that you would want to create. So this is where I would say that if you want to like explore specific options, you could always just go to search everything and search for that keyword that you have in mind, so that you could get these kind of options available. Also, another thing that I could not mention earlier, but because of the time crunch, there are web page templates as well. So web page is like a single sign-in web page that keeps running with information. You could find or you could create those kind of impactful web pages as well, which speaks out your story as a community.
Thank you so much. And I think just as a closing question, these pictures are all stock and no copyright issues on these
No,
cannot
no,
be
of
used
course.
for any public use, right?
Yes, yes, they can be. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
I think just wait with the interest of time. I think I'm just gonna, we have to close it.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful session, but still a lot of things to learn from.
Yeah, actually, yes.
Just at the end, I just want to this we have this QR code. So I would like all to please scan this and give us feedback. And if you can, if you want to have some follow up sessions, so we can also arrange accordingly. So really just want to have these, your feedbacks are important for us to have these knowledge sharing and wonderful sessions we can arrange for you all.
Yeah.
So
And I think, Aarti, I would just like to pitch in one or two last things before we close down. Number one is, of course, if you are looking out for more resources, you could always go to YouTube and search for Adobe Express. You will find a lot of videos related to everyday things that we do on Express. Plus, you will see a lot of evangelists from our US team, UK team, other teams who create content like such, and you can like get ideas and inspirations from there. That's one. Number two, if you're looking out for more ideas, or you're looking out for more, let's say, videos that can give you a guide of how to use Express, I can share that content with you, Aarti, and then you can share it with our users or attendees who are here with us today. So that's the second thing we can do. And third, just, I'm not sure how many ed organizations are here with us today, but Adobe for Education sort of gives out Adobe Express licenses for education free. So basically, Adobe Express is free in K-12 area. And when a school asks us that, hey, we need Adobe Express, we know that it's for free, can you deploy it for us? We do deploy Adobe Express licenses for the entire school for free. So if you're an NGO who works with, let's say, schools, or who works with other school partners, you could just reach out to Aarti and she can direct you to us, and we can let you know how we can deploy Adobe Express for your schools, for your students, etc. And then, of course, the students and teachers can also make use of it.
Sure, thank you. I think I'm most of us our organizations are education based. So yes, they can contact me. And thank you, all of you. Mahendru, you.
Well, thanks, Aarti. Just me, I think it's been a lovely session, and I'm definitely hopeful that a lot of nonprofits understood what is Adobe Express and how they can start to pick and work on the things. And I think a lot of things have been very intuitive, and a lot of things which they can start to adopt immediately as well. So thank you for the lovely session. It's been great to have you for our webinar today. And thanks everyone for joining today's session. And just to close on it, I think the QR code which has been displayed, we would love to hear your feedback, because that actually helps us to see how our webinars are working, what are the things which we need to focus on, if we need any changes. So I would request all the nonprofits to please go ahead and share your feedback. I think that's something which we definitely look forward to. Thank you everyone for joining today's webinar. Thank you, Jasmeet. Thank you, Aarti. Thank you, everyone.